think one of the craziest things is how I and my family just quickly made this decision to just go. It's wrong. It wasn't a quick decision. It wasn't quick at all because we've thought about it for years, honestly. My husband is a Nigerian man, born and raised in Nigeria. He spent some time in the UK in school, um, but the majority of his life he has been living in Nigeria. And I, then in turn, married a Nigerian. I've always wanted to live in another country. Um, I just never, took the steps to actually get it done. But after getting married and having children, hmm, especially to a Nigerian man, I said it's time. Um, so I'm starting this series. I didn't do it intentionally. It was quite honestly by accident. I started noticing a bunch of things in Nigeria, and it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe people are getting things done the way that they get them done here. I need to share with the world. Oh, boy. But little did I know, I had no idea it was going to turn into all of this. And here I am in Nigeria doing my eyebrows in the bathroom that my husband built for me and is still in the process of building. There's also something odd about, not odd, but, it just takes some getting used to. Everything in, not everything, I can't say everything because I know how y'all gonna come for me in the comments, but sometimes there's things that are built and it just feels unfinished. I heard another YouTuber, another Black American living in Nigeria, married to a Nigerian, she said the same thing. Sometimes it can just feel unfinished. As I also, I've never done my eyebrows on camera, so it's a little nerve wracking. Just a little nerve wracking. But this is a this is a real talent to be able to do your makeup and talk. Ooh, that's a real talent. But I'm really excited to start this series with you guys and share some more behind the scenes of like the day in the life of a Black American living in Nigeria. First of all, I wouldn't do my makeup every day. I wouldn't do my makeup because it's hot as hell. And my makeup will just sweat. I'm pretty sure that there's like sweat proof makeups, but I don't have it. And I don't spend money on makeup. These are the things I use. That's it. That's it. That's all. You won't find me in a makeup store, MAC, unless it's a very, very special occasion. You won't find me doing those things. I don't have like fancy makeup kits and tools, but here we are. Is this like slowly turning into a makeup tutorial? This is my life. Like I get up in the morning, I work out. I didn't film that, but I read my Bible, I work out. I have like a small treadmill in our room, and I just use that to get my body moving, you know? Moving my body has been very important because I'm not working. Social media has turned into my job, and honestly, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to be able to be as creative as possible, and have full autonomy and just show up the way that I feel best showing up. So I wanted to bring you guys along on my day in the life. And I don't normally go over the eyebrow this many times. I think it's because you guys are watching me. I think that's exactly why. Usually it's like one, shoop, 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 done. And then I add some concealer that's my complexion, and I use my finger and do 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 do. Make it pretty. But honestly, I'm only doing this because I have the opportunity of being on a podcast, and we are going to be recording today. So I am just getting myself ready to be on camera. Now, even when I'm recording Notes from Niger, I don't always have my makeup done. I don't always do that. But today I'm doing it because I'm going to be recording an episode on a podcast. And I will give you guys more details on that when it's available. But I want to respect the creator's space. Um, I'm excited. Now, I have had my own podcast in the past. If you followed me before, I had this series or this thing. I can't even call it a thing. Like, how disrespectful is that to myself? And how far I've come. Not with Notes from Niger, but like personally, right? Thinking about myself personally, how far I've come. How disrespectful is that to say this thing? But I used to do something called pause, and pause is a practice. Like it started in COVID because the whole world was like emotionally damaged. We were losing sight of who we were because we weren't able to be humans and be social. And I was also in grad school becoming a teacher, and teaching online during the pandemic was the most challenging thing that I've ever experienced. Um, so when I, practice pause, I turned it into a podcast, and people were extremely receptive to it. But as life would have it, life experiences changed, and I no longer felt like a connection to pause. I mean, I'm still heavily connected to it because it's what I do. I'm in school for my doctorate and I'm turning it into a dissertation. Um, but I'm no longer deeply connected to pause because number one, I'm not in the classroom anymore. I'm not teaching, and I found ways to like connect pause to the jobs that I was doing. It still connects, but I'm no longer working. The thing that I'm focused on now is obviously Notes from Niger, because Notes from Niger, it started off as me observing a different country and me sharing those observations, but it quickly turned into self development, personal development for myself. And then I see how you guys are responding to it, especially people that are born and raised in Nigeria. You guys are showing me, I really hope you guys can hear me. So let me take this off and put it here. You guys are showing me that you're learning so much about yourself, especially if you're born and raised in Nigeria. And I think that's what makes me so proud of this series, because as I'm learning about myself, you guys are learning about yourselves too, and the country that you were born in or the country that your family is from. And with that, I'm so very grateful. I'm looking for something to put this microphone back on, but let's put her here. Stick with me while I do this, okay? I hope you guys can hear me clearly. I hope that's much better. Um, but I'm doing this series because it's honestly for myself. I'm learning so much about myself as a individual, as a wife, a mother, a Christian, because I am a God-fearing woman. I'm a follower of Christ, and I fear God. Oh boy. I think I can confidently say I fear God today because after reading the Bible, I'm still reading it. I haven't finished it. I started off by saying, I'm going to read this in one whole year. No, No, I'm not. And if I do, great. But did I understand what I read? Have I been able to apply it to my life? Have I been able to confidently walk, learn how to pray? But that's a whole nother conversation. Um, but I can confidently say that I fear God today. After reading about Moses and Aaron, like God took these people, turned them into community leaders to lead a whole nation. And then, because Moses disobeyed, he said, the nation that you were leading to this promised land, you disobeyed me, and now you're not going to go to that promised land. Excuse me, what? And Aaron, God made him a priest one day, and the very next day he killed him because he also disobeyed. Hmm. If that didn't put fear in me, I don't know what will. I don't need anything else to put fear in me. What I read put fear in me. But Notre Niger, it really is, excuse me, Notre Niger, it really is a journey of growth for me. It is a reflection of who I was and who I am becoming. And it's more so a reflection of my mindset. Like I think back to, my life in the US, and there are some things that I'm like, wow, I was so very privileged to have that opportunity, have that space, and have those experiences. And then there's things that I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, you really took advantage of a lot of things and you did not appreciate a lot of things because there's some things that are in the US that we have access to that I don't have access to here in the States. I'm sorry, here in Nigeria. Like 24-hour light. And I am being so like conscious of even this interaction of how long I have before the lights go out. I mean, we also have solar, but you have to be selective of the solar because if you want to have solar, I mean, if you want to have lights at night, then you got to preserve the light during the day, you know? And that's just one of those things that you just don't become aware of when you move to another country. And I see all these people talking about the UK right now and how they don't have, how they're going through this extreme heat wave. This is me getting camera ready. How they're going through this extreme heat wave. And people in the US are like, yeah, come to Florida and go to Texas in the summer. But based on what people are saying, I hope you guys can hear me. But based on what people are saying in the UK, the summers there and the heat there is way more extreme than the heat in the US because we have AC in the US. You can get away from the heat in the US. You can run away from it. Okay? Yeah. How do I look? I think up close I look really good. So let's go ahead and get started with this documentary. Let's get dressed. Let's find some clothes. Okay, welcome to my closet. There are a lot of things that are still coming from the States to Nigeria. So these are some of my shoes. Let's go ahead and take a look into my closet. Let me turn you guys around. I do have a few options, and hopefully, um, the thing that I'm wearing right now, it's a little see-through. So I'm trying to like conceal myself. Let's put you guys here. Um, so the thing a lot of my clothes are still arriving from the States. So I have a very limited selection of things, but let's find something to wear today. I want to find something that's simple hmm, but native, you know? I want to look cute and comfortable. And honestly, I only get dressed on camera for Notre Niger from here up because that's what you guys see. um, So I'm going to be on camera. Hmm. Honestly, my eyes are going to this. This is where my eyes are going. It's simple. It's just a simple top. Let's go with this. Let's or hmm. Or should we do this? Should I do this? Yeah, let's do this. It's comfortable and I can wear it. Um, it's fully covered because I'll be sitting behind my camera. I mean, sitting behind my desk. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and get dressed. Okay, so I'm now dressed. I want to choose, and I feel like, not feel like, I absolutely have. I've lost so much weight. When I first came, it didn't fit because it was still like supposed to be loose, but there's so much room in the back. Like a whole other dress could fit here. Like you can make a whole other dress out of this. Like happy, but oh my gosh. All right, so now I'm choosing some earrings that would fit and look fine for the recording on camera. So I have these match, but they blend in. Yeah, let's go with these. Um, I don't like to be too flashy. I'm not a flashy person, but I do enjoy like the way Nigerian women dress. It's flashy, but it's also like subtle, and I enjoy that. Oh, those of you that have children, it is hard to keep anything neat or keep anything where you put it because children are going to children, right? They're going to children. And I would turn my camera, but the way this cupboard looks, yeah, you don't want to see it. Or maybe you do. So let's go ahead and get started with preparations. You guys also wanted to see some behind the scenes of how I prepare for No Naja. That could be another video. You guys think like recording these are not easy because I'm a Virgo. And I know I don't want to get into astrology or anything like that, but I like to put things out to the world when they are perfect, for the lack of better words. And I know nothing is perfect. Nothing ever will be perfect. But when it feels good to me, that's when I'm able to put it out to the world. So there are a lot of notes that I have recorded, and I recorded more than once. There are some notes that I recorded 3 and 4 times. There are some notes that I record that are quick, fast, and they are immediately ready. See, that's what I mean. These are my workout shorts. And you can't just put things, I'm jumping from topic to topic. You can't just put things in the washer and the dryer and then wash them immediately. You can, but that requires energy, which requires light, and we have to be selective of the light. So back in the US, if I got something dirty or if I wore some clothes, I could just say, oh, I'm going to toss it into the washer and I'll wash a small load. That ain't going to happen. Okay, so now that I'm dressed and ready to go, let me give you guys a different look. I mean, a view of what it is that I'm wearing. So here we are. This is the full look, and you can see how long it is. It's very, very long. And so much fabric. It's so much fabric. But I like the look. And you guys can only see from the top up. And that's what we're gonna do, you know? All right, let's go.